Hello everyone and welcome back to Grow with G. Today I am recording my second episode, so let's go. Hello everyone and welcome back to Grow with G. Thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to be recording another episode. First of all, I just need to talk about my first episode got at the time that I'm recording this, which is Tuesday night, exactly a week after launching. My first podcast had 85 individual listeners and a total of 95 plays. And I am so shocked. I could not have expected so many people to listen in. So if you listened in to the first one, thank you so much. And if you haven't, feel free to go and check it out. Yeah, I was genuinely shocked. I thought maybe 5 to 10 people, maybe my closest friends would chuck it a listen, out of obligation. Never in my wildest dreams would I have expected 85 people. And it's crazy because I can see a list of where all of you have listened to, and some of the countries are expected because I've got quite a few friends across the world, but there are some countries where I'm pretty sure I don't know anyone from, / none of my friends are visiting there at the moment. So that is just unbelievable to me. So thank you so much. I love you all so much. Words cannot express how grateful I am for everyone tuning in. It was honestly just amazing, and I feel so connected to people that, first of all, I don't even know, so that's so cool. And secondly, people that I haven't even spoken to in years listen to the podcast and have messaged me really nice things. And then of course also my closest friends have also messaged me, shared me on their stories, and I appreciate you all so much. I just cannot believe this happened, and I'm so excited to keep going because I feel like it's only going to get bigger as I release more content and you share it with more people. So oh my gosh, wow. So much appreciation. Let me know what you found helpful, because I really liked it when everyone messaged me about it and shared the little bits that particularly resonated for them, and that helps me going forward too, knowing what you guys like listening to. So I have been so excited to record another episode. Genuinely, the day after I posted the first one, I was like, I want to make another one. But I was like, wait, just sit with this, don't rush another one, even though you're super excited. Take time, let people listen to the first one before you put out another one. So here we are, about a week later, and yeah, just still in shock because the numbers just keep going up every time I check. And anyway, so excited. So what I want to talk about today is I just finished reading this book called The Happiness Trap, and oh my god, game changer. So this was recommended to me by my therapist. So yes, I see a therapist. I have seen therapists for a number of years. Honestly, therapy could be its own episode, because I love it so much. I have gained so much from it. I've seen the people around me gain a lot as well, and even some of my friends have told me that I've inspired them to go see one. So if any of you are listening and it's been on your mind, it's something that you want to get into, 100% go for it. I should probably just do another episode on it, to be honest. There's so much there. But yeah, it's incredible, and yeah, deeply encourage it. Anyway, so my therapist, I started seeing a new one actually. We'll cover that in that other episode. And yeah, she gave me this book recommendation and I whipped through it like so fast. I just felt like there was not enough hours in the day to read it. So if any of the things that I talk about today interest you, definitely get the audiobook or read it. It has a lot of practical exercises along the way as well, which normally I kind of just listen to and don't do. But for once I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. Wow, like just crazy how much this book has changed my everyday. So the biggest thing that I learned from this book was that you always have a choice. So, you know, thoughts, feelings, emotions, they're all part of your everyday life. And it's really interesting because the book really talks about how everyone always strives for happiness. And there are so many more emotions than that. And if you experience the full human experience, you experience all of those emotions. And yes, obviously, we enjoy some more than others, but that was a really helpful perspective. Like, everyone's always chasing happiness, but the full human experience is anger, sadness, frustration, you know, all of those things. And there's actually a real wisdom behind our emotions as well. If you really tune into them and listen to what they're telling you. Like, for example, anger tells you that you need to stand up for yourself, that maybe your boundaries have been disrespected. And sadness tells you that you really appreciated something. And like, there's just so much wisdom. And I think it's so easy just to be so caught up in the emotions that you just feel them so hard or you avoid them that you can't learn from them because they're just so powerful. And like, for me, like, I've always deemed myself as a very emotional person. Like, gosh, if you knew me in high school, like, I could go off. The slightest thing I could crack it over. And yeah, like, I can go into that more another time, but I've just always felt so out of control with my emotions. Like, I have the highest highs and the lowest lows, and they really dominate my life. Like, if I'm upset, like, I will be upset for a whole entire day. I have to, like, sleep it off. Like, bouncing back midday, no way. Like, I need to sleep on this. And previously, if you'd gotten into an argument with me, that was the only way that I could be normal again, is have a nap or see you the next day. So sorry to my exes for that. I'm different now. Yeah, I realized probably maybe in COVID that I had really low emotional resilience. And somebody said it once, a podcaster, I'm not sure who. She was like, look at the way kids are in the world. Like, they can be playing, having the best time, and then, you know, they trip and then they fall and cry for 2 seconds and then they're back up again and then they're playing again. And it's like, we should learn from kids. And like, I've seen that firsthand, like, just the ability to change between your emotions. And that's something I've been working on, is not being consumed by them. So like, if it used to be a night out and something bad happened, I would start crying and then the whole night is over. And recently I've been practicing, like, no, we can have a little hiccup, we can get a little bit upset, but then we're going to come back and we're going to have fun. And yeah, it's about making that active choice not to get so wrapped up. But I know that is really hard because obviously nobody is intentionally choosing, oh, I want to have a shit time right now. Oh, I was trying not to swear on this. Anyway, too late. Anyway, like I said, this podcast will not be perfect, and neither am I, and we're just gonna roll. So yeah, basically we have a choice when we have a thought, a feeling, an emotion, normally we have all of those, but any of them, any or all of them, and either we struggle with the thought, the feeling, emotion, or you obey it, like you follow it as if it's true, as if it's like some strict rule you have to adhere to. But there's actually a third option, and the third option is do something helpful. So instead of getting so consumed by this thought that comes into your head, or instead of being like, oh my God, this thought is true, let's flip it and let's try to do something helpful instead. So something that I've been working on for months is I am addicted to chocolate. I love it, and I love the feelings it gives me. I love the taste. I could eat it all day, every day. If somebody says, what is like the only food you can eat for the rest of your life, it's chocolate. And I noticed, actually, I had never had this really obsession during high school, uni. It started with full-time work, COVID, and I used to snack on it all day. And like after lunch, I was like, I need something sweet. After dinner, I need something sweet. Mid-afternoon, I need chocolate. And when I started learning about more nutrition and just realizing how bad sugar is for you, and especially that amount of it, I was like, oh, that's something I want to work on. But I'm so addicted to it, like I don't even know how. And I noticed at my old job, I needed to snack all of the time. And then when I changed jobs, I actually didn't feel that insane need anymore. And I pretty much stopped snacking, which was pretty massive. And so I started, when I realized that, I was like, I haven't been snacking at my new job. And I realized I eat when I'm stressed because of the feelings the food gives me and like the literal dopamine from chocolate. And eating food actually helps me avoid whatever situation I'm in. So then now, like, I'll be working and I'm like, oh, really feel like some chocolate. And then I actually check in with my body and I'm like, am I hungry? Or do I want to avoid the piece of work that I'm doing right now? And 9 times out of 10, it's the piece of work. And I actually just sit with it and I'm like, no, I need to do this thing. Like, this thing is still going to be here for me if I have chocolate or not. Like, I'm just going to do it. And that's been pretty life-changing for me. And also, so that one kind of fell away on its own, having less stress at work. And then the next thing that I've been working on was having the chocolate after lunch, because this is a routine I have in my brain. After I finish my lunch, that's when I get it. And I feel like I'm talking about this for a while, but I feel like it deserves this time. And I really could not break this. So every time I finished a meal, I needed something sweet. And it wasn't until I heard Mel Robbins' podcast. Gosh, she's amazing. Everyone go listen to her as well. She said this thing about you can handle disappointment. And I was just mind blown. And she means it in the short-term sense, right? So I know in this moment it is going to be so disappointing if I don't have that chocolate after lunch, because I'm not going to get that dopamine hit. But I can handle the disappointment. And maybe it sounds trivial because I'm talking about chocolate, but try to think of like a situation where this might apply in your life, where, you know, you're trying to get up early in the morning and your brain is telling you, no, I want to stay in bed. And you can just go, yeah, that is super disappointing. You want to stay in bed, but guess what? I value my health. I want to be fit. I have certain goals. And it's okay to disappoint. yourself in the short term when you know of the long-term benefits, right? So, gosh, like that has just been such a profound change in my life. And I really hope that something in that resonates with you, because yeah, just like the health benefits of me not eating this much chocolate is just so good, and it feels a lot better. So what else do I want to talk about in this book? Because this book is like so amazing. So yeah, this also goes back to just dropping the struggle, right? Because so many times we get hooked by our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and it's so easy to get wrapped up in them, and one thought leads to another, one feeling leads to another, and all of a sudden your whole day is ruined because you've given it so much power, because you've believed them and you've attached to them. Whereas if we can create some separation between you and your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, so they have less power over you, then all of a sudden you've got all this time back, all this energy, and you've got room for so much more meaningful things in your life. So a way that you can just drop the struggle is you accept those feelings, even if they're negative, just accept them. And a way to take the power away is, instead of being like, oh, I'm sad, because all of a sudden that means you identify with the feeling, you say, I am noticing that I have feelings of sadness. Or you could be like, here's sadness. And once you sort of add that language, it just changes. Like you're no longer, well, I've no longer felt so connected to the emotions. It's sort of like the weather changing, like, oh, it was sunny, but now it's raining. Oh, but it's sunny again. Like they can come and go, and it doesn't have to rain for weeks, you know? So I invite you to try that when you're feeling some difficult emotions, and check in with your body and be like, where do I feel this? Because for me, I store my emotions in my stomach. Like I tense up, I forget to breathe. And it's all about connecting with your body, process the emotion, allow it to move through you. And then it will no longer be stuck inside you. And then, like I was saying at the start of the episode, then you can tap into the wisdom behind the emotions. Like, so many times I've seen my friends have arguments because somebody got upset over something, and they didn't realize that the whole reason that they got upset was because they care of the other person and value that relationship so much. So there is just so much truth and wisdom in your emotions if you can, break free from the struggle and tap in to what they're telling you. Like, we have emotions for a reason. So what a shame if you just go through life not learning anything from them. Like, that's just doing yourself such a disservice. So yeah, I just hope maybe some of you can get some benefit from that. Another thing that I learned in the book was you might have like recurring thoughts, or you might have like thoughts of a similar nature, and what can be really helpful is calling that a story. And then you could be like, oh, here's the I'm not good enough story. Oh, here's the I'm not lovable story, or whatever goes through your head. As soon as you call it a story, like, oh my God, that just loses so much power because, like, stories aren't always true. Stories exist, stories are words, whatever, there'll be another story tomorrow. But, like, that is so cool to just dismiss it. Like, so that's another really good way if you feel like you're getting hooked. And if you think about it too, like, we evolved to be, like, historically, people had to live in communities for safety, for survival, and now we definitely still need communities, I'm not saying that, but our mind was literally evolving to help us. So every time that it comes up with, like, a critical thought where it tries to compare you to someone, it's literally just trying to protect you. It's trying to make sure that you either condemn yourself into proper behavior by, like, punishing yourself, or it compares you to others to make sure that you know that you're safe in the group. So even though some of these, like, thoughts and feelings can feel so intense and hurtful, your mind is actually trying to protect you, which is so cool. Like, that we have a little voice telling us, you know, what's acceptable, out of love and safety. And so next time you sort of notice these uncomfortable thoughts or feelings, emotions, think what your mind is trying to do for you. And again, another way to sort of, like, take the power away from the mind is to be like, thanks, mind. It's like, thank your mind. Thanks. So, like, for example, I'm somebody who, when I leave the house, I'm, like, checking that the door is locked 10 times over and that the hair straightener's turned off, iron, da-da-da-da. Every time I check it, I've always done the thing. I have never been in a position where the door was unlocked. But this is my mind wanting to protect me and my family from theft or break-in or whatever. And so now I do the double check because I still need that. But when my brain alerts me for the third check, fourth check, I go, thanks, mind. I know you want to keep us safe, but I know that the door's locked. And just really thanking your mind for being so helpful. Like, yes, at times it's way too helpful. We're like, please stop. Just thank your mind and move on. And you'll just find life is just so much easier without this resistance. Yeah, and also, like, a good way to sort of, like, if you need to quieten your mind after you've, you know, felt the feelings and you're like, okay, actually somebody shared with me, I think it was Bella shared, apparently feelings only last 90 seconds in your body. So if you give your feelings your full attention for those 90 seconds, I think I've heard psychologists say this too, but probably should fact check that. Anyway, basically you have feelings or emotions for a short time in your body. So give them the full attention that they deserve, and then connect again with the outer world. So, you know, think of 5 things you can see. What are 4 things you can hear? Like, those sorts of techniques. What can you taste? And I can't remember the others. Oh, feel. You know, find a couple examples for each and really connect back with the physical world that you're in, and know that, like, there is so much more here than, like, what's going on in your head. And also, like, the only time you have is now, which is kind of crazy. Like, the past has happened. you have no idea how long you have. You literally only have now to make decisions, to exist. And there's so many things we take for granted as well. Oh my gosh, something that I love doing is at nighttime. Oh, I need to do like a whole gratefulness appreciation episode, but basically I've got to drop this now. At the end of every day when I'm going to sleep, I go through a highlight reel of my day, and you just find all the good moments, and it's so interesting because you never just randomly think, oh, like I got a free coffee today, but when you're sitting there in bed adding them all up, you're like, oh my God, I had a free coffee today. I had lunch with a friend. I walked my dog. I got to watch Netflix. Like, how lucky am I? And you really start finding all the good that maybe would have just gotten lost in your memory. Also another thing that I did on the weekend was I cleaned my room and my bathroom, and like, what a basic thing, right? And like, if you know me, like, I am super messy. Not like gross, but just disorganized, like stuff everywhere. And I feel so much better after cleaning my spaces. And if you're listening and if your room is messy, if your house is messy, here is a gentle reminder. If you clean up your space, you might also just feel so much better. So yeah, I'm trying to keep it clean. I'm doing pretty well so far because normally it's clean for like one day and then there's clothes everywhere again. But so far I think I'm on day 3. So I'm being really intentional about putting things away, and I think it's making a big difference. So gosh, that was an episode. That I feel like we covered a lot of ground there. Basically, I think I'm going to end it here. I have so much to share on this, but want to keep the content accessible. Let me know what you found helpful from today. Throughout the podcast, I will share some book suggestions, podcast suggestions. Let me know if you're reading anything that is interesting and you think would benefit other people. I always take detailed notes whenever I listen to podcasts or books. So as part of the podcast, I'm going to go back through all my notes and find all the pearls of wisdom for you all, combine them all into episodes, and, share my unique view on things. And yeah, thank you so much if you've made it all the way through this episode. 28 minutes of me absolutely rambling, but I love you so much. Thank you so much for this space. I'm learning so much. I am feeling so connected to you all. And I just really hope we all make the world a better place. Gosh, that was cheesy, but I genuinely mean it. So yeah, have a good day, have a good night, wherever you are in the world. I love you, and until next time, bye.